Hello everybody, welcome back to episode 2 of Foxy Boxes Season 2. So I'm now in Sweden, I've moved, I've just got my desk set up and everything, so finally feeling kind of at home here and I'm ready to record the next episode. Let's start off by talking a bit about what Duck has been up to. There's some really cool stuff to show you guys. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you for still being here, I guess, and sticking around. Lots of comments and responses on the first episode. Glad to see people are still interested in the series. A couple of people face palming on my behalf when I screw up. I've always thought that the kind of face palm moment is part of this episode's style because, especially for people who are less knowledgeable about commands, it kind of shows the sort of mistakes that you might run into and how to fix them. But if you want less of that and just more like showcasing the results, let me know and I'll consider it. So here is a box that Duck has designed. This one is on a rail, and I really like the style he's going for. So we're going for this after discussing several different drawing styles or art styles. We're going for this kind of hand-drawn, kind of sketched look, which looks really neat, I think. Are these animated? No? Don't think so. No. But I think some of them are animated. So we have quite a few things which is handily all labelled Foxy, so I can just search for them quickly. And I want to show you he's also, as well as working on this on these crates, he's actually started work on the design for the spaceship interior and the spaceship. So let's have a look at that. Bam! Damn, this is so cool. So this is his current draft of it. Nothing here is guaranteed to be final, but I'm already in love with it. Like, I love the circular doorways. They're built on stairs, so they even raise you up a little bit. It looks really, really nice. Possibly a tad dark, but I'm sure we can work on that with time. We have these amazing like 3D panels and pipes, access panel things in the wall, which I really like. This is the bay doors, which open up at the back of the ship. So this, for people who I should probably explain, this is the kind of level selection hub where you choose the level that you want to play. So this is the hologram table, which will bring up a holographic map of the solar system that you can click on one to select where you want to move. I am a huge fan of vivariums, I think they're called, which are these sort of biosphere areas with like plants growing in them for oxygen production. So Duck was kind of experimenting with some of that. So we have these vivariums. I think we're probably going to change up the plants a little bit. I think it'd be cool if we had like a steamy texture to the cover of this or something. I'm not sure, but it looks really cool. I love the kind of soft edges he's been putting on things, both with textures and with the model shapes he's doing. This is so much better than what I could have done, and I'm really happy that he's on board with this project now, because damn, this looks good, right? If you have any feedback for him, type it in the comments, and I'm sure he will read that too. Look, it's even like animated and glowing. I think it'd be interesting if we could have like some apertures that slide open and shut over this. I don't know whether we'll need that or not, but oh, that looks so nice. I'm also thinking about doing like a sliding thunk door, proximity detecting. And over here we have the cockpit, which Renard will sit in, the other character in this game. And this is kind of the place where you steer the ship from, and not all of the textures are done yet. There's probably a lot of clutter still to go in here. We want to add like instrument panels and desks with like medical equipment and like pipettes and test tubes and what are they called? Culture dishes, petri dishes and things like that. But yeah, it's looking so nice. His attention to detail on texturing is just phenomenal. I love working with Duck. And we actually have a game out. Duck and Noodles and I, who are the three people working on Foxy Boxes, have just released a game. If you didn't see that yet, there is a trailer on my channel for Creeper Factory. you should definitely buy that. Support us a little bit. It's a fun little mini game. Duck did all of the art for that as well. This is a hatch. We're thinking about possibly maybe having a level that is on the ship as like a mid-game kind of thing to break up the story a little bit, where you have to go into the ship and make repairs, because we can have a sort of we can have a slightly different style, some new mechanics and things just for that level, which could be kind of fun. But this is how it's looking so far. I think it's looking really nice. I love the sort of the curved feel to the edges of things. I think it's looking really good. So that's the update from Duck there. Noodles is planning everything out at the moment. He's working on kind of rewriting the script that I'd already written, like the dialogue for the characters, for the voice actors, and kind of just generally laying out a timeline for the project, I believe. So he's kind of not so much to showcase right now, but he's doing some pretty cool stuff. I don't think he's started on the music yet. We wanted to settle on an art style before we got into the music, because we decided the art style would affect the kind of music we would have. And I think we're kind of getting somewhere now with this sort of drawn, slightly grungy kind of thing. So yeah, feedback. I'm sure Duck will read it if you have any. And let's jump back to other things. Before we do that, I just want to add that Duck did all of that in like 2 days or something. And this was my attempt at building the spaceship interior from quite a while ago, when I was planning to revamp Foxy Boxes, and then everything changed again command-wise, and I didn't even get very far at all with it. I didn't get any texturing done. I apparently tried to do some kind of tilted pillar, but I don't know what is going on with this texture. I think the textures might have broken with the update, I'm not sure, but yeah, but you can see I was a fan of vivariums at the time too. Like, I have my little plant growing thing over here. So this is just... with Foxy Boxes, I wanted to do everything so I could learn how to do everything. And I think the most important lesson I've learned from Foxy Boxes is that you can't be good at everything, and working with people who are good at their bit is the best thing you can do. Like, surrounding yourself with people who make up your shortfalls. I still learned a lot. You know, I learned a bit about texturing and modeling and stuff, but I think I have learned where I'm just not as good as other people, and I'm really glad that there's other people taking part in this project now as official kind of members. Yeah. So speaking of my part in this project, let's talk a little bit about the last episode and the cameras. So after a lot of discussion with people, I'm gonna have to make this a first-person game. There was a little confusion with it, with people talking about they didn't understand why some people didn't understand why I wanted a third-person camera. Some people didn't understand why the camera methods that were suggested weren't right for the project. And some people... I feel like there was a third thing. I've just brain farted. Hang on. Well, I'm sure there were people who thought a third thing. But the points I want to make is that the issue that we have, basically, is that we can't control where a player is looking without teleporting them. Like, you can't move the direction that the camera is pointing without using a teleport command to change their rotation. And if they're inside a vehicle and you teleport them, then they get ejected out of the vehicle. So that doesn't really work. That is both so that we can fix the camera and stop them looking in a direction we don't want them to. So this is our level. It goes this way. We want the camera to point forwards. And if somebody nudges the mouse and wants to look over here, we want to stop them from doing that. But also so that if we look at clips from, say, Crash Bandicoot, you'll see that the camera is basically on a rail. So when Raposa moves forward, we move forward, the camera moves forward and backwards to follow her. If she moves to the left and right, the camera will very slightly tilt in the direction that she moves, just to open up a little bit more visual space. And if she jumps too high, the camera might kind of do this with it, which looks really nice. And that's what I wanted to do. But we can't teleport them like that. What we could do is put them into... just teleport them without being inside an entity, like in Game Mode 3, in which case the problem becomes that in Game Mode 3 we don't have any controls. So we have to somebody wrote a mod, I believe, which lets you put game mode and then a number again. I really don't like having to do this, especially since spectator and survival both start with S, so it takes even longer to type. But yeah, if you're in spectator mode, you can't detect when somebody jumps. You can't detect when somebody clicks or right clicks without them spectating an entity which moves the camera, which is useless. We can't tell when they open the inventory. They can't move things in their inventory, so we can't even do anything with that. You can't press Q to throw items. You can't press F to switch items in your offhand. So there's like very little controls. And if we put them in adventure mode, then the problem becomes that, well, I guess you could do that, but there's still the screen jitter issue of teleporting people in place all the time, and detecting WASD movement in that. Plus, in adventure mode, they can't jump or crouch and have that detected when they're in midair. So it's not going to work. I really, really wanted a third-person camera. The reason is because it completely changes the way you design levels. It means that things are seen from a very specific angle, which allows you to shape the level in a certain way. So, for example, in a we're just talking about some game design here and some camera work. In a level where the camera is fixed, you can have a secret like this. So your player runs along here, jumps over here, and the camera kind of follows them like this. And just as the camera clips over the edge of this ledge, you might be able to see like a little hidden secret, like a box or something. But if you're in first person, you'll probably see that the moment you jump down here. You can still kind of encourage people to look in a direction, and they might not look behind them and miss it, but the shape of the level completely changes. People can look around, see it from different angles, and the way that the puzzles are designed and things change quite a lot, as well as the parkour. Another reason I wanted a third person is because you can't control player movement very easily. You can use levitation potions, and you can use like slow falling potions and things like that to change their movement. But with an armor stand, we could completely choose exactly how they move through the air and how they jump, and that would have given us more options to have tighter controls. So that's why I wanted a third person camera. But we don't seem to be able to do a good camera, not one that I'm happy with, so we're going to go with first person. And this episode, I guess what we're going to make a start on is the crates, jumping on the crates, interacting with the crates, because we need to decide how high you bounce off a crate and the kind of movement that the player has before we can design any levels. Because if we design a level and don't realise how high someone can jump, they might be able to escape the level, and we'll have to design the whole thing differently or put in invisible walls, which are never fun. So that's what we'll be doing in this episode. Alright, welcome back everybody. I realise it's just been a quick cut for you, but it's a few days later. I have a new keyboard. This is Noodles. This is the third keyboard I have used for this episode, which is kind of stupid. But yes, before we get started with crates, I just wanted to say that we now have a server set up, thanks to Transport Layer, one of the Game Mode 4 system administrators, with a load of stuff in it. So Duck can upload his resource packs here, and Noodles can do stuff, and I can do stuff. And I want to push this button because I didn't show the spaceship, and I'm pretty sure this is going to summon... Oh, yeah. This is the exterior of our ship. Size to be determined, but this is going to be about the right size, I think. This is the Invisicorp ship, which Noodles has designed, and this will be the view you get of it from the outside. I like the swaying effect. What Duck has basically done is put it on a giant's hand and scaled it up like crazy, and it's got little animations and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Hopefully I can get rid of it. There we go. Here's a little tiny version of it. Okay, so Noodles is currently over there. He's working on episode 3. He's currently recording, so I think he's actually going to have some footage for the next episode. And if you look carefully in episode 3, you'll see me in the background of episode 3 working on episode 2. So let's work on some boxes. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is I finalized the list of boxes we have. I wanted to make sure that I knew all the types of box we had before we started, so that we weren't surprised later and our mechanics didn't support it. So here's a list of our crates. I had to cut because I started rambling like crazy. And actually, this time I haven't thought about what I'm going to say either, so this is probably not going to go very well. But this is a list of all the types of crate we're going to have. Regular, reinforced, hardened, the arrow crates, trigger crates, TNT crates, armor crates, and hologram crates. And these are all of the settings that I think crates can have so that we can make sure they behave properly when we interact with them. The way we did this in the previous version of Foxy Boxes was we basically had an area effect cloud inside a block and then we gave it a load of tags to say how it should behave. So it would have a can jump on tag, a can headbutt tag, a can attack tag. What we're going to do this time is we're actually going to use block tags to do this. The hologram crate, by the way, is essentially like a placeholder, a non-solid placeholder you can walk through where a trigger crate can solidify it, and the hologram crate will just turn into one of the other crate types. So it's not really a crate, but we'll include it here. And you can see that there's different things you can do to different boxes. You can slam every type of box. However, we definitely need to tell what kind of box it is after it is broken so that we can react appropriately. So all of these crates, except the trigger and TNT crates, will drop items, but the TNT crate will explode if you do any of these things, and it will start a timer if you do any of these things. So that means we need to treat it differently. In fact, let's change this. I think TNT crates we might do as a completely separate system because they don't drop anything. Every other crate will drop something when it's broken, and they either explode or are triggered. They don't actually break, if that makes sense. Plus they chain. So we'll probably treat TNT crates a little bit differently. So on the server here, I've started setting up a settings scoreboard, which will let us turn different features of the game on and off as we go. I've also got FTP set up over here, so we can actually we have our resource pack here. Let's just quickly put a say command in here and see if it works. Oh yeah, because we have world builder for duck, we have to do Minecraft reload. Oh yeah, it works. I'm now annoying Noodles and probably ruining his video. So our tick function runs every tick, and we are going to put the base control system for our project in here. So just for now, all we're going to put here is a test to make sure that to see whether boxes are allowed to break, and then we'll branch off to a new boxes function if that setting is turned on. So for example, if we're in the spawn hub, we can turn all the box detection stuff off to improve performance, because currently there are no boxes to break. If we're in a cutscene, we'll turn it off as well, that kind of thing. I've run into a problem of not knowing what these blocks are. There's no test. Like before, you used to be able to do test for block, and it would say, could not find red glazed terracotta, found whatever the block was. But now it just says test failed. So I don't know what these are. Because he's renamed them. So it's just called Foxy Crate. I can't tell what it is. I mean, the images in my local download are called image 1, image 2, which isn't helpful. No! The language file has all of the default languages in it. All the default text. I'm sure when Duck sees this, he will tidy up or provide me with a list of blocks or something. Oh, this is looking good. Here's all the glazed terracottas. Foxy Crate is brown glazed terracotta. Okay. Alright, here we go. So under our main function here, we're basically just saying if the block below you is brown glazed terracotta, which is that Foxy Crate, then we run the jump on function, which is this one here. And all we do is destroy that block and set it to something else. So in here, we should be able to step on any of these boxes and they will break. We should probably turn tile drops off. There we go. So stepping on these will break them. That seems to work. Now the next step is, currently this only works for this type of box, but we do have other types of box which you can jump on, like this one here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a block tag. Okay, so here we have a box JSON tag. So these are tag blocks, and it's just a list of blocks that are crates. So currently we have got brown, green, red, and black glazed terracotta. So now in our main function, we can replace brown glazed terracotta with, I think it's fb:box, like that, which means that any of these blocks should now work as a jump-on item. Oops. So we should still be able to jump on this. Yep, but we should also now be able to jump on this. Awesome. Very nice. So the block tags will let us create several different categories of blocks. So first of all, we've just created a list of all of the different types of block, which is this one here. But we can use block tags as well to list the different properties of blocks. So once we've got the jump on function, which currently just destroys the block, instead we can go, if the block belongs to the block tag bounce when you're stood on it, then we run a side function for bouncing. And if it belongs to the block group start an explosion time when you jump on it, then we run that. Although I think TNT is the only one, so we don't really need a block tag for that. I was going to put this under the jump on mechanic, box can jump on, but actually we just need to do this on main, because if you're stood on a block of any other type, then nothing would happen. So only the ones that you can break on would actually matter here. Okay, so I've commented and labeled this now so we can see which box is which, and we have two new tags. We've got the box can jump on tag, which is this one here. I've just commented out the reinforced crate line. I think it might be just easier to read if you can see the list of all the blocks and which ones are allowed. If people have huge problems with this, I can delete the lines that aren't actually relevant. So the reinforced crate, it doesn't bounce if you jump on it. And then the destroy on jump is the same, except that the arrow box is also unlisted, because you can jump on it, it will bounce you, but it won't destroy it if you jump on it, because it bounces you up and it's designed to be rebounceable. So we've now got all of that set up. Let's see what happens. You know what? I've been thinking of this as a Bedrock Edition behavior pack. You can't put comments in. I was reluctant to put comments because strict JSON doesn't allow them. But the Bedrock Edition JSON does allow comments, and I have become a fool. So I guess, unfortunately, we can't actually leave ourselves handy notes to remind us what is what, because it will have problems with that. I wonder if we can leave comment. No, we can't. It's pure JSON. We're just gonna have to learn. That's annoying. Okay, so we should be able to destroy this when we step on it. This is a bouncy crate, so we shouldn't destroy it when we step on it. Good. This is a reinforced crate, so we shouldn't. Okay, we do. The reinforced crates and the hardened crates shouldn't break. These ones here, no, these ones here are supposed to take a couple of bounces to break. So I think what we might need is like a trigger on jump function. Or actually, you know what, we should have a the TNT does something when you jump on it, but it doesn't break. And the reinforced crates do something when you jump on them, but it doesn't break, other than bounce you. Do we need a so the destroy on. See, now I don't know what these boxes are in it. Wait, the comments work in here? It didn't complain about. Is it because I'm not using this tag? I think I'm not using box.json anymore. Destroy on jump has two boxes in it. Brown and green, which is box and box hardened. Okay, next we want to do if block Facebook, Foxy boxes, box can jump, which means it'll launch you. Run function. Well, I guess we can just give them the potion effect. I think we used jump boost and levitation let's just see what jump. We'll use levitation just to check it works. Effect at S. Oh, it's changed, hasn't it? Effect give at S. Minecraft levitation for 1 second. Oh, the lowest amount of time you can give it is 1. It's not really the bounce effect I'm looking for. I guess we can wait a tick and then clear it. That'll be how you do it. Right, let's just check that then. Okay, so this should launch us and break. Nope. I think we're destroying the box before we can bounce off it. So this needs to go here. So this one should be destroyed and bounce us. Yep, cool. This one should bounce us but not be destroyed. This is first class bouncing mechanics. Like, I don't think we need to change anything about how this works. This next one should bounce us but not be destroyed as well. We also need to send it some information to say that it's how many times it's been jumped on. And then this one here shouldn't bounce us or break. Cool. This is working. Nice. I think what we need to do is if either of these things are true, we need to store an entity inside these boxes, because we need, once the box block is gone, we need to summon some items. And also if you reload a level or you reload from a checkpoint, we need to be able to replace the boxes, so the entity will mark where the box should go once it's been replaced. So what we will do, I think, is if a box matches one of these categories, if you can jump on it, or actually destroy on jump, and both of these actually, we should send like an event to the entity inside the box telling it what's just happened to it so that it can react appropriately. So for example, if you can jump on it and it's the reinforced one, it will have an internal counter which when it reaches 0 it will give itself the destroy instruction. I think that's going to be the way to do it. We don't seem to have a TNT box yet. I'm sure Duck can work on that soon. And by the way, I'm aware there is some like Z fighting occasionally on textures. Duck isn't finished with this stuff yet. But it's all coming along really nicely. Have I shown you the control panel over here? Oop, I jumped on a box. These are the fuel cells down here. We've got this lovely control panel with a little glowing flashy thing. It's really cool. I think, oops, I'm going to, because we've kind of done boxes like this before, and this episode's getting kind of long, I'm going to do the same thing for the underside of the boxes, so like headbutting them, and change the mechanics a bit. For example, right now you can't, you can stand on the edge of a box and it's not going to break until you actually cross into the space, which isn't correct. So I'm going to do all that off camera for the next episode. I'll kind of run through how it works briefly so you can have a look at the code if you're wondering how you do it yourself. And the next episode we should be including some footage from what Noodles has been doing as well to change things up. So thank you very much for watching. Love to hear what you think so far. I'll continue polishing the way these boxes work, and I will see you in the next episode. Remember, if you want any feedback for Duck on these textures, you can leave them in the video description. See you guys next time.